Hello, what is up, Edgelings? It is Master's favorite pet, favorite mascot, and as well as his best friendo, Dark Cosmos, otherwise known as Damos. I am taking the role over today to discuss the Edgelord's team for his upcoming battle with the Lumiose Post. Now, we have like a bunch of Pokemon to go through here today, obviously, of course, 6 Pokemon, and this is the team that Master will be bringing to his battle with the Lumiose Post. Now, there wasn't really anything going through his mind at the time when he was thinking of it. All he thought about was using Urshifu Rapid Strike, aka, in my opinion, the best Urshifu of the two. But anyways, his team was solely based around making sure that this Urshifu can do as much damage as it could, as well as, surviving anything that Lumiose Post could probably throw at him. Now let's get a look at the Pokemon he's brought. You can already see 4 of them right here, but just a quick over. We have Bomb, the Urshifu. We have Morishomon, the Hisuian Gudra. We have Kunran, the Regieleki. We have oh my god, can't read. Novik, the Grimmsnarl. And then we have, oh gosh, you guys can't see all of this. Excuse me. Hold up. You guys can't see all of this. And then we have Yanhua, the Sundarachi, and we have Yuto, the Miss Magius. But let's go over everything one by one. Okay, so since we have no idea of what I'm going to call him Lumi from now on, because it's a lot faster that way, and shorter. So we don't know what Lumi's going to be bringing, but since we are centering this battle around the Master's Urshifu, we are giving him, of course, Stab Move and Surging Strikes. Ice Spinner to get rid of any possible terrains as well, and just for that coverage damage as well. You never know when a flying type might be coming in. And then Drain Punch for some more stab and sustainability as well. We're also going with the Protect because, nothing wrong with going to the Protect, right? Oh, why am I speaking like as if I was my own master? Weird. Anyways, of course the ability is Unseen Fist, and we're going with Safety Goggles because you never know when something like a Spore or something might come out, right? We don't want this guy being put to sleep. That'd be hella bad, I think. Right? And for its stats, we're just going a straight Jolly Spread with a max speed, max attack, and the remaining points in just HP. Well, I think he was debating on whether to put it on defense or special defense, but you know what? I think he couldn't decide here. That's probably why he put it on HP. Next Pokemon, Morishomon, the Hisuian Gudra. Now, I think his thought process on this was, we're just gonna make this thing tanky as much as possible. So he gave it the Assault Vest with the Shell Armor ability, just in case if, might as well protect it from any kinds of crits. I think he wanted to go gooey at one point, but he probably thought better to, survive crits. Less damage taken, right? So, of course, emphasizing on the max stat spread of the HP and defense, he did go with the Body Press, which will, of course, do as much damage as possible, and definitely a threat for maybe any other steel types that might be coming in. Any dark types as well. Flash Cannon for stab, Dragon Pulse for stab, and Surf, because why not? You never know. Mostly for that coverage against ground type moves, because Hisuian Gudra is weak against ground type moves, and fighting type moves as well, but, Surf. Next we have Kunran, the Regieleki. Now, this was a pick that Master had a hard time deciding on. He wasn't sure if he wanted to go with the Regieleki, but he went with it anyways because he thought, you know what? I'm going to need a Pokemon that can outspeed almost anything that's currently available in Scarlet and Violet. So, even with that said, he went a full special attack sweeper on this. Full speed, full special attack, as you can see, and then just a little bit of the remaining points into that defense. Maybe he could have sacrificed a little bit of that speed for a little bit more defense, but he wanted to make sure that this thing was going to outspeed almost anything that could be thrown at it. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to talk about Terra typings too in the other ones. Oh. Okay, so Terra type Water for the Urshifu. Terra Steel type for the Morishomon, because you never know, right? I think Steel type is the better option of the two at this time. Dragon also might have been a good option as well, but I think Steel is okay here too. So Kunran, his Terra typing is actually Ice, because we are going for... he is going for that Bolt Beam coverage. And he was also going to make the Regieleki his rapid spinner, just in case there were any hazards coming out of the field. Now, I know Regieleki probably isn't the best one to be using as a rapid spinner, especially since he put a magnet on instead of the heavy-duty boots. But, I think he was still trying to emphasize on the electric damage he could possibly dish out with the transistor ability. So, yeah, so running rapid spin, Thunderbolt for the stab, Volt Switch for any, for Volt Switching shenanigans as well as the Terra Blast for that Terra Blast Ice to, hopefully kill anything that's a ground type. And anything else that's probably weak to ice. Next we had Novik, whose Terra typing is Bug. Now, I just noticed that Master did not even put a stat-changing nature on this Grimmsnarl. I don't know what he was thinking, but it is a serious nature. And it is a bug Terra type. He must have gotten this from like a Terra raid or something. But enough about that. He is running full HP, full defense, as well as putting the remaining stuff into that attack. And of course, what is Grimmsnarl without the Prankster ability, am I right? It's gotta get those reflects off, gotta get those possible taunts, So this taunt actually, I think Master's thinking was he probably could have put Light Screen here. But since he already had like the Gudra with the Assault Vest and a pretty good special defense, he thought everything else here on his team would probably be needing a Reflect Barrier instead. Because he doesn't know what's going to be thrown at him and he's relying on that special defense tank in the Hisui and Gudra. Fake Out, because Fake Out is always a nice move to have, and Spirit Break to have a little bit of that stab damage as well as using its stuff to lower attacks. Or at least having a chance to do it. Beyond Yua, the Cinderace with Libero ability. This is the one running the heavy duty boots, and for good reason. It is running because it is going to be running Court Change, so that if there are any hazards on Master's side of the field, he will change it to Lumi's side of the field. The Pyro Ball for the stab damage. A little bit, of course, not 100% accurate, but you know what? You gotta take those chances. You want to do that big damage. Sucker Punch, because Sucker Punch is always a nice move to have on something like Cinderace, because, he's still kind of squishy. And Sucker Punch is always good for, sucker punching the enemy. And then we have Trailblaze. This is to go along with the Terra-type Grass. We'll give it the stab damage. If not, it will Libero into this. And if it does Libero into this and then Terra-type into a Grass type, well, you can imagine the kind of damage it's going to do. Especially gaining more speed. Especially when it's already heavily invested into speed and attack. Put a little bit in special defense. Although the opposite of the Urshifu in this case, though, because he's running Adamant instead of the Jolly. So he's focusing more on attack on this case. And with Trailblaze anyways, he'll be able to raise his speed, so I don't see any problems with this. Last but not least, this was Master's pocket pick. He actually had no idea what to put in this slot at all. But he had, options. He just didn't know which ones to use. This Miss Magus was the final chosen product of all of his thinking. He was about to go Frostlass, but I think it's probably a good idea he didn't. He has no experience with Frostlass whatsoever. Then again, it's not like he has experience with Miss Magus either. But this became a special attack sweeper once again. With the, exactly like the Regieleki. The modest nature with the full speed, full special attack, and a little bit in the defense. It does run the ability Levitates. And it is running a Focus Sash, because it is going to be on the squishier side. And this is definitely one of the mons that needs that Reflect Up from the Grimmsnarl. But the thing is, Master is a very big fan of Iono. He just had to have a Miss Magus that was just like it, so he gave it the electric Terra typing. Now Miss Magus has no weaknesses. Ha 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 ha. Well, granted, he Terra types it into electric, of course. But that was a very, very funny move on my Master's part, but it's so like him. He loves his idols. But it is running Hyper Voice. I think he ran Hyper Voice just to make sure, like, if Lumi does ever get a sub out, then, it'll bypass the sub and deal some damage. It won't get rid of the sub, it won't damage the sub, but at least he'll do some damage. Shadow Ball for that stab, Thunder Wave for some speed control, and then Hex to go along with that Thunder Wave so that it does a lot it does a little bit more damage, including, you know, with the stab as well, with it being a ghost type move. And that is it. So that is all of Master's Pokemon. And he's going to be bringing to the battle with Lumi. I think at the time of the recording of this video, battle should be happening soon. Or maybe it's already happened. Who knows? I don't. Anyways, thanks for coming to, what I think you would call this my first debut appearance as Master's Best of Friendo. And once again, this was Dark Cosmos, aka Damos, and I hope you guys enjoy the battle between Master and Lumiose Post. Alright, hope to see you guys again.